with T-Bone and Buzzsaw. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people?
What's going
it's
on?
T-Bone, medium rare.
All right, we got this is just straight NFL today. We're just going to give it right to you. All right.
As it should be.
We're going to start things off with some big news droppings that have happened over the past 48 hours. Then we're going to do our weekly division breakdown. This week it's going to be the NFC West. Right into a rapid fire for under-over for NFC team win totals. Then getting into some futures bets that we can look to, as well as a future NFC playoff bracket. Right into a quick little Guess the Athlete segment with your boys here. Then we got a nice 5-round coaches draft, a would you rather, underrated, overrated fantasy players, and finishing things off with a smoke circle. Your top 5 people in a smoke circle.
This is a fun one.
This is going to be a fun one.
Topic
it's going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
It's going to be a blast.
All right.
Hop on the Magic School Bus.
Kicking things off. Deshaun Watson was just handed down a 6-game suspension via Judge Sue Robinson. Now, do we think? I think we all thought at least a little bit ago there's going to be a lot more than 6 games.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do y'all think about this?
I think he should be suspended longer, but then again, legally he wasn't actually convicted of anything. I thought the NFL was good. I thought Goodell wanted to make an example of him a little bit more than he did. That's why I thought it was definitely be more than 6 games. 6 games is kind of light. What we've seen other suspensions recently that were 6 games, right? That weren't even minor things.
This wasn't Goodell's suspension. They handed it off to a judge.
Yeah,
she appealed it, and this
NFL
was
suspension.
what her penalty was. Apparently, the
NFL can appeal it, and then they can go back in and
apparently the NFL has 3 days.
Is that common?
I think this is the first time they've done something like this, right?
I don't have any idea about any of the legality.
The NFL was like, we want no part of this.
Well, apparently
deal with it.
Well, because the NFL, I guess they have 3 days to appeal it, and I guess previously they stated that they would take no more or no less than 12 games and a substantial fine, and they gave him 6 games and no fine.
Half that, jeez.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Shit. DeAndre Hopkins got suspended 6 games for traces of PEDs.
Yeah.
Ridley got suspended for a year. That the Ridley stuff's going off right now. Everyone's like, free Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
But it would have been
I think the Ridley one's a lot more justifiable though. But I think minor traces of PEDs. A lot of these
that
guys
can't be the exact same as
or these guys
Deshaun Watson's accused
and these guys,
of.
these guys are taking supplements too that are masked as PEDs that have the same damn effects.
Yeah,
pretty much.
some of that stuff they take just has it's on the banned substance list, and they just call it PEDs.
Yeah.
I think I've heard most NFL players have never seen any of their other players test positive for HGH or anything like that.
It would have been a really good PR move. This was a big chance that the NFL had to really advocate towards women, because it's a male dominant. Obviously male dominant sport, but mostly men watch it. There's been stuff in the past that has gone lightly. This was a real opportunity for the NFL to put their foot down and be like, no, we're we're gonna institute new change. We're not gonna deal with this
especially
anymore.
with what's going on right now.
Exactly. This was a perfectly wrapped gift given to them. Hey, do right by this, and you are gonna PR is gonna be through the roof. Go make a good move here, and they botched it.
That's a good point.
They passed it off, so I guess it's not. I don't know why. I guess they passed it off because it's such a complex case, because there's so many different accusations, but nothing criminally has been proven. It's all civil, and most things are getting settled. It's disappointing. He should have been suspended for at least a year. Yeah. There's no reason. If Ridley gets suspended for a year for that, you see all these other. Josh Gordon's been suspended 30 games in his career for weed. To say that this is only a 6-game worthy suspension, which is nothing in the NFL, it's a terrible look, and it's a shitty move on their part.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone out there is saying that it should have been 6 or less. I think the consensus easily.
I haven't seen anyone say that.
All I've seen is media people shitting on it, which they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's a really good point though about the women's media stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
it should have been a great stand they could have made, and they just botched it.
Well, especially with all the settlements that Deshaun made, it was kind of evident that and also how many cases end up being? What did he get to 26?
30.
I thought it was more than that.
I thought it was 30.
Yeah.
Well, there was a thing he saw 67 different masseuses in a 17-month span or something.
Yeah.
So peak body count 6 in the 60s. I didn't even mean it like that. But.
All right. Well, how do we think the Browns are going to look through these first 6 games with Brisket?
I mean, it depends on their schedule.
I'm looking
this
at
is interesting now, though, because now that's only 6 games. Browns are live now. Like if it was a 12-game suspension or obviously a season suspension, like you're like, okay, Brown season's
they're dead
over.
in the water.
Yeah, but now they're live. I mean, what's the shitty circumstances that surround it, but they're live now to make a run.
What's their 6 games?
Their first 6 games are Panthers in Carolina, Jets in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's all you even need to say.
Yeah, then it's Steelers in Cleveland, Falcons in Atlanta, Chargers in Cleveland, Patriots in Cleveland.
That's a fucking cupcake.
They could be 4-2 after that.
I mean, if they get 3
as long
3,
as they stay, if they win 2 of those, which I think they'll probably win,
as long as they just go
2-4, then they're fine. They're right in there.
The Panthers game, I could see them losing that.
They're not winning the division. I don't think it's too competitive. But I mean, like we've talked about before, if they get in the playoffs as a wild card, like you do not want to face them in the wild card round. And Deshaun will probably hit it on cylinders. He'll have 12 games under his belt.
Do these suspensions allow him to not practice? Can he practice? Can he be with
the
team?
I don't know that.
That's a good question.
I don't know that.
Because if he's got to hit the ground running like after 6 weeks of like a hiatus, then it's going to take another 6 weeks for him to
He's been in training camp. He may not anymore. I'm not really sure.
Who knows?
That just adds another. I mean, the AFC is already just ridiculously stacked with talent and quarterbacks and great teams, and that just like we didn't know it was going to happen with Cleveland, and now by December we're going to be looking at the Browns right in the mix of everything with all these other great teams.
Well, I guess we'll see if the NFL appeals it and does anything about it. Apparently Deshaun Watson's team came out and said that if the NFL does appeal, that Deshaun's going to sue him. So.
Really?
There's just so many goddamn tangents on this whole. I'm just tired of hearing about it at this point.
It's
a lot.
I hope they don't appeal just so that we can move off from this and stop being talked about.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I wouldn't mind if they appeal it and he's suspended all year.
Yeah,
I think he should.
He should be.
But I mean, then who? I have no idea.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like the precedent you're setting. Like you can do all this stuff and get suspended for the exact same as this. Like that's just. It's just not right. Like you can't spew that message
on paper. Does not look good.
No, like you can't spread that message out that this is equivalent to that.
Yeah, the degree of penalty for the actions committed just do not add up.
You can't. Yeah, I mean Calvin Ridley's is almost 3 times, one game off of 3 times the amount that Deshaun Watson's is. And I know it's like compromising the the integrity of the game and everything, but like there's a human element to this that's like different than all this other shit like PEDs, betting, like. There is a much more social issue that you could make a real stand on.
There's a lot of real world shit currently going on that's kind of tied to this heavily.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are very sensitive about this subject.
And recent events, especially like Roe v. Wade, like this perfect opportunity.
Like, these feminists and women are everywhere. They're pissed.
Yeah, and they should be. So.
All right, well, moving off of that fun stuff. It came out today the Dolphins have lost their 2023 first-round pick and their 2024 third-round pick, primarily all due to tampering, I guess.
That's a hefty penalty.
Well, did you see the report at all?
What was the tampering?
Apparently it
was like Brady and Sean Payton.
So apparently in 2019 and 2021, they talked to Brady during and in the offseason about like being like a limited partner with the franchise, and they talked to Sean Payton last year.
They said partner, like owner?
Oh, owner, yeah.
Like he'd be a partial owner of the team and be the quarterback.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
And then it was also Sean Payton, because I guess last year in the middle of the season.
Sure.
I guess last year in the middle of the season they spoke to Sean Payton's agent without the Saints' authority. So
be a part owner of his.
And then they also looked into if they were tanking and giving Brian Flores money to lose games in 2019, 2020, and I guess they found nothing. But I mean, what do y'all make of this? I mean, do you think this is too much, too little? I mean, it's a first round pick. I mean,
it is a first round. I would have to look at recent tampering allegations and what they've penalized those teams for.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's kind of insane. Like part owner of a team that he would be quarterbacking for. That's never happened.
No.
I don't even know what to make of that, honestly. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like I
don't know.
I've never seen tampering penalties like that.
Yeah, I don't know to compare.
Tampering penalties like you'll lose a 5th round pick, like 6.
Yeah, it's not a
losing
first
your first
and
your third. Like that's a huge deal.
And the owner
that's probably the biggest fine for tampering. Right?
When the CEO got fined $1.5 million.
I saw that too.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, they got fined a lot. I mean, was it even worth it for the Dolphins to even try and get this stuff done with all they lost?
If they got Brady, it would have been.
If they had gotten Brady and Sean Payton.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah.
would have been.
Yeah.
Throw in 3 more first at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's enough of the recent news. All right, let's get into the NFC West. All right, let's kick things off with the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. What are we thinking? They've made a lot of different moves this offseason, so what are we thinking?
I mean, I think they're pretty much almost in the same boat that they were in. I think they retained all the good pieces. I know they lost some pieces on the O-line. They lost, Robert Woods, OBJ. They replaced everything with Allen Robinson. I think the losses they have, they negated with additions. I think they're going to be right back in the thick of things. I think you'll see them somewhere between 11-6 and 13-4, pushing for the 1 seed and one of the top 2 or 3 betting favorites out of the NFC. I don't see them going anywhere. I think connection with Cooper Kupp, that's going to improve. Offense is going to improve. I mean, you have everything still in place, so I think the Rams will be right back pushing for the Super Bowl again next season.
I agree, but I also kind of disagree at the same time. So yeah, obviously, transaction-wise, they added A-Rob to replace Woods, who can probably fill in and add you a little bit more. They added Bobby Wagner. But they lost Whitworth and Corbett, like I've mentioned. I think that's going to hurt their O-line. They did sign Joe Noteboom, who was actually pretty good in limited time last year. But where I'm worried, they also lost Darius Williams, who was their second-best cornerback, probably their second-best secondary player. And their defense was ranked 22nd in pass yards last year. Matthew Stafford led the league in interceptions. And we saw late last season and in the playoffs,
Stafford led the league in interceptions
in
last
picks.
season?
Yeah,
he had a bad mid-season. He had a little run.
They had a stretch, and we saw they kind of got lucky at times in the playoffs too, to where the defense kind of carried them. They were also 25th in rush yards per game last year. I know Akers was hurt, but that O-line kind of proved it's not very good run heavy, and then they lost Corbett and Whitworth. So I think they're going to go 11-6, 12-5. I think they're going to be right there in the playoffs still. I just don't think they're the favorites out of the NFC because I am scared of that pass defense. They're being too reliant on the pass defense, and then Stafford's turnover problems, transitioning, maybe by losing Andrew Whitworth, who was arguably the best pass blocking left tackle in the league last year. I think that's
despite him being
I think
40.
I think that's a really big thing. That's kind of like a low key move, but
yeah.
their weapons are still good. They got McVay. I think they're still going to be a really good team, but they also lost Von Miller. So we don't really know who's going to fill those shoes either. They have a good front seven, but they're literally one Jalen Ramsey away from having just an abysmal secondary.
Well, I mean, losing Von Miller
or Aaron Donald, and they're very top heavy, and that's what scares me about them.
They're a lot like the Cowboys.
I don't like top heavy teams. I like to have depth, specifically in the NFL. Where injuries happen left and right. You got to have guys be ready to step in, and they've traded away all their draft picks. They don't have depth, so they're very top heavy. And like I said, you mix in the turnovers and the pass defense. I see some hesitation from being the best.
Losing Von Miller is huge, though, because he came on in a big way, especially in the playoffs.
He was a monster when he
I mean, having that guy that you can, they were putting Donald next to Von Miller. They were putting him on opposite sides, and not having that threat from the opposite side of Donald or next to him is that's huge, especially with what they've lost.
Their front seven's still good. If you have Donald and Bobby Wagner, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about their run game and their front seven getting after the quarterback and all that. It's their secondary, their O-line, and Stafford's turnovers. Those are my biggest 3 concerns for him. And running the ball. Because Stafford, if they can't run
McVay. I mean, McVay has to run the ball. For his offense, the run game has to work.
And that's what happened last year when they couldn't run the ball, is when Stafford had to force it. Yeah. And then we saw turnovers. And then their defense, luckily, last season was pretty damn good. So it kept them in games. And they ended up getting kind of lucky and winning a lot of games still. I just don't think it's going to happen again.
So
I think having Jalen Ramsey also in the second. I mean, the secondary has holes. But you still have arguably the best secondary player in the league.
And Ramsey's the best guy. You could put him on any receiver and say, this is you one-on-one.
He's the perfect,
But the rest of the secondary
is
pretty suspect.
Yeah.
And, outside of – the defense is so top-heavy. After those 3 guys, it's Taylor Rapp and, Leonard Floyd. They're okay players. And then it just drops.
Yeah,
it just keeps
random
dropping.
guys after that. Yeah.
No, you're right. They do have no depth, and they got – pretty damn lucky last year with the way injuries shook out. They pretty much only had Cam Akers and then Odell at the end of the season.
I mean, even the Bucs game
in the Super Bowl game, and
look at it this way: that Bucs game they so easily could have lost, And if they ended up losing that Bucs game, like what's the
Well, they were kicking their ass.
Yeah.
The Bucs made that rant. That Bucs.
But even the Bengals, I mean, they played in a lot of really close playoff games.
They got really lucky against the Bengals.
It could have flipped,
Yeah.
in the conference championship or the Super Bowl, or who did they play before the Bucs?
Niners.
Cardinals.
Niners. They
they played Niners
They
championship game.
played
Yeah, the Cardinals in week 1.
They kicked the
week
shit
1.
out of them.
Divisional weekend.
But who did they?
They played Cardinals, Bucs, Niners.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Bucs, not. Okay, so
Yeah.
the Niner game,
That was
that could have gone either way too.
Yeah.
If Jaquaski Tart doesn't drop that pick, that was like lobbed
and that's
to
my
him.
thing. Yeah, if they lose to the Niners and don't even make the Super Bowl, then like I think the narrative of this team is like completely different than what it is right now.
No,
So-
definitely. Yeah.
So gun to your head, do the Rams repeat?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Definitely not gun to your head.
And that's not even considering too like the Super Bowl hangover. I know that's not like a good reason, but like we've seen
It's
a lot
a
of
thing.
It's a thing. I'm not gonna like use it as like a a key point, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that McVay and Stafford struck oil last year. They got lucky because that's what some of the Super Bowl is just getting lucky.
A lot of the NFL is getting lucky. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think they're also really lucky to be in the NFC. Like there's not really many
100%.
like heavy contenders in the NFC really.
Yeah.
Like there's only like the Packers. I mean, shit. Who else?
Bucs.
The Bucs, the Niners.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
after that, it's like who do you really? Did you see anyone else?
The Niners kind of have their number too.
I do too.
I think
the Niners should have won all three.
I think Shanahan's a better coach than McVay. I think he knows how to play against them.
Well, moving into the Niners, what are we thinking about them? It looks like Trey Lance is probably going to start. I mean, what are we thinking for them?
I mean, it all comes down to Trey Lance. I think the Niners are really interesting because like they could either
they're
be
probably the most interesting.
They could either be 13-4 or they could be 1-5 the first 6 games and then put Garoppolo in and then like we really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if I had to bet on it, I would bet on Trey Lance being pretty good just because one, we haven't even seen Shanahan with a guy of this talent. He had Matt Ryan in 2017 for the MVP season, who was great. But Trey Lance's talent is crazy, and obviously he hasn't had a. I'm excited to see too him having a quarterback that can actually be a real dual threat and run the ball. I mean, last year he only played a few games, but I mean he had 90 yards in one game, and then I think 60, 70 in another. He's arguably got the best skill position weapons out of there. The only thing that slightly they did lose Laken Tomlinson, who was a Pro Bowler, and Alex Mack, but their O-line was still ranked third. They got Trent Williams. They got Mike McGlinchey. I think their offense, as long as Trey Lance can, be more than serviceable, they're going to be really good because their defense is also stacked too. They had a lot of injuries last year, but 6 in pass yards. Nick Bosa didn't play a lot of the year. They're going to come back in with a healthy Nick Bosa. Javon Kinlaw can only get better. They got Eric Armstead. They got arguably the best linebacker. In
their front
Warner.
seven is still like
Adam
best.
Charvarius
Still
Ford,
best in the league.
Jimmy Ward, like their defense is stacked.
Yeah.
I honestly think their defense could push to be like a top 3 defense next year.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that year they went
we
to the
saw
Super
the
Bowl, they
playoffs
were
too. Like
unstoppable.
that's how they almost made the Super Bowl. They were shutting teams the fuck down.
That pass. I mean, their front seven is like arguably the best in the league. I feel like the Niners are the biggest. Like, could be the best. They could literally be the best team in the league. They could 100% win the Super Bowl if Trey Lance works out. The offense is schemed right, and everything's clicking. They could roll almost any team. Like with the talent that they have at each position, like levels on offense and defense, they could absolutely be, 14-3, 13-4. But then you're right. Like if Trey Lance doesn't work out, they get off to a rocky start. Maybe Shanahan and him, they get at it one time in practice or something. You could see them 7-10, 8-9. Like it's just gonna depend on. It all depends on Trey Lance. We're gonna have to see. But like I agree. Like I think I trust Shanahan. Like I trust Shanahan. He went up and took.
I think do you think he's a better coach than McVay? I mean, McVay has a better track record, but I mean Shanahan's been to a Super Bowl.
McVay's been to 2 and won 1.
He's also been at a few conference championships, but he's also done it with less talent, I think. I don't know. I love Shanahan. I mean,
Shanahan's done it with less quarterback. Although shit, McVay did it with Goff.
Well, I mean, the year that Shanahan made it. Well, I mean,
that's kind of a tough question.
I don't know.
They're both so great.
I'd probably take McVay.
I'd still take McVay.
That's really close, though.
Okay, I think McVay's a better culture guy, but I think I'd rather have Shanahan just strictly
as a play caller.
Smarts, yes.
Yeah.
Well, what I also like about the Niners is that, I mean, yes, they lost Tomlinson and Alex Mack, and they added Charvarius Ward, but other than that, and obviously Lance, there's not a lot has changed around the team. So they're all coming back, same camaraderie, same coaching staff. I mean, they lost Mike McDaniel, but I mean,
you still have Shanahan.
Yeah, as long as you have Shanahan.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
And I think one thing too is like this team's kind of been like glued together for a while now, and like they know they can win at the highest level.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this team's short of confidence by any stretch of the imagination.
They took care of the Debo situation too, so that's not hanging over their head.
They have the
They're
same core that they've had since they made the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and they were that close to winning it. So I think they're ready to rock and roll. Pending
I do too.
Trey Lance, obviously, but if I was to bet, I would bet that he starts all year and they for sure get in the playoffs. If I was to bet,
same. I think early on too, they'll use his running ability a lot.
For sure.
Because in North Dakota State or South Dakota State, I don't know, whichever one he played at, he ran the ball almost as much as he passed.
Yeah.
Like they run those power O's up like off the tackle. He was really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see a lot of that early on as they're getting a lot of bootlegs, quick passes, quick reads.
Yeah.
And as the season goes on, you'll see that offense start to progress even more into those like multi-level reads, those deep patterns, and all that. So I think the Niners, it could take a couple weeks, but by November, December, as long as Trey Lance hasn't flamed out, they're going to be really dangerous.
I completely agree. And like this is the thing too is like people forget that like he's only played a few NFL games before. He was playing is it FBS or FCS?
FCS.
Yeah, FCS. He wasn't even playing D1 football. So like obviously there's a learning curve from North Dakota State to the NFL. So
he's got a rocket.
He's got a rocket. He probably has the best arm strength in that quarterback class. If he can just be accurate and read defenses. Like, I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy.
And Shanahan's going to make it easy for him, too.
He's
not going to have to do anything super
scenario.
complex. Yeah.
Like, that was out of all these guys that got picked last year. If you could be one quarterback in the best situation, like, Trey Lance by a mile.
Easy.
He's in a dream scenario. Like, if he can't make it work here with this team with Shanahan, then he's not working anywhere. He's terrible. No. He's not a starter.
Well, even like whatever you thought about how Lance did last year, before he played last year, he didn't play football besides that like showcase game they had.
Yeah, because he sat out his season.
Yeah,
because
of COVID, they didn't play.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how much practice you take. Like you need that game time reps to like.
Yeah.
Especially it's the NFL. It's not.
Well, also he was preparing last year as a backup. Now he's had an entire offseason prepared to be the starter.
Yeah, and you have like two of the best weapons in the league too, with Debo and Kittle on the team too, on top of the running game. So like he's gonna have so many quick outlets, quick things
and
that they can just do to him.
Yeah.
He's not gonna have to do too much. So they're gonna ask him like really low level stuff, low responsibility stuff, build his confidence up, and then as the season goes on,
kind of
like, all right, now let's torch him. Like now let's do this, this, and this. So. I think it'll be rocky. I think it could be rocky at the beginning.
They could be really scary.
They could be
very
They could win the Super Bowl.
They could.
They absolutely could.
They could be scary, bro.
Yeah.
So us being a month out, if you had to put a number on it, what percentage chance do you give the Niners to take over the Rams and win this division?
I mean, are we talking just like to win the division or for them to beat out the Rams? Because I mean, the other two teams. I mean, I don't think.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, you beat out the Rams, you win the division. So
I would give them like maybe like a 40% chance.
Yeah, 35. Well, are we including the Card? I mean, the Cardinals.
I guess. Yeah,
I would give the Rams maybe like 38. Or Rams 40, Niners 38, and then sprinkle in the Cardinals.
Yeah, I would do something like.
And then give like a few percent to the Seahawks. I mean, you give them like 1 or 2%.
Yeah, do like 45 Rams, like 30 or 40 Niners, 10 or 14% Cardinals, and 1% 1% Seahawks.
However the math adds up.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think it's definitely going to be between Rams.
I think it's close. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the other team that's still competitive. That's the Arizona Cardinals. What are you thinking for their season after Kyler finally got his extensions? They don't have that hanging over their heads besides the fun study stuff. What are we thinking for them?
I don't really like them. I mean, I think last year they were good early on. They kind of started to falter late in the season, but I mean, they're not going to have Nuke till week 7, which is huge. And last year in the games he didn't play, they got blown out by the Lions and the Panthers. Like they were not a good football team at all without Nuke.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm scared they're going to go 2-4 without him, and then they're facing an uphill battle. They're in a loaded division.
The Niners are like 4-2, Rams at 5-1 or something.
Exactly. And then at that point, they're playing for the 7th seed at that point. They lost Chandler Jones on defense. J.J. Watt is literally their only guy who can get after the quarterback. Like kind of with the Rams, they're one J.J. Watt injury away from literally having.
If Butta goes down, like
I'm just saying from a pass rush perspective, if J.J. Watt
J.J.
goes
probably
down,
will go.
Which J.J. will.
J.J. always goes down.
If we're betting the over. He's going to go down.
Doubt. Yeah.
And then if J.J. goes down, they literally have no one that can get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, no one on their D line. They have 2 linebackers that are high pedigrees with Zaven Collins and Xavier Simmons, but they haven't really proven shit. They have secondary. They got Byron Murphy and Budda Baker, who are both really solid. But I mean, a safety and a quarterback, like that's not going to help.
No.
Then they didn't run the ball either last year. I mean, I think best case they backdoor wild card and get blown out again.
Same.
But
yeah, I don't like. I mean, I know they got Hollywood Brown. I've never really liked Hollywood Brown. Like losing Nuke 1 hurts. The Chandler Jones obviously hurts. I think this could be Kingsbury's last year.
I think it is his last
I
year.
could honestly see if they're like 3-5 or something, like halfway through the
cut bait
season,
with them.
4-6. I could see the locker room almost turning on him because it seems like the locker room almost turns on him every year that they're doing well.
I think
like
it's
they're
just
like
he's
7-1
I
or
think it's just
7-2.
because like him and Kyler are buddies. I think that's the
But
only.
I feel like
reason
neither
he's
of them
there.
give a shit that. Like neither of them care that much.
I don't think either of them are good leaders.
No,
No,
they're
they
not.
don't like JJ Watt's probably the leader. Like they don't have
yeah.
a leader in there.
Yeah, and like I don't think honestly anyone really respects, like especially veterans on those teams. I don't think they come in and respect Kingsbury.
They
Like,
definitely should not respect Kyler.
No,
don't
if you don't respect your coach or your quarterback,
No, those are your two leaders.
And
Like,
even the last couple seasons, they've started well. They started 7-3 2 years ago. This season they were like 8-2,
I think 8-0, yeah.
or something, like that.
And I think that's why they stick around for those
still
offensive fireworks.
if
like,
it still falls apart after you're doing that well, think about it. If you're 4-5, and you're third in the division and the number 1 seed 6-1,
and
like
Kyler
that locker
Murray
room
is
could
not the kind of
implode.
guy too to where if they're 3-5, 3-6, like he's not the kind of guy that's going to rally the troops and fight an
sitting in the
uphill
corner
battle.
playing on his little Game Boy,
Yeah.
just like, hey, I got $45 million.
Yeah.
Screw y'all. Like
he's not an uphill guy. He's a downhill cruising guy.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like we know Kingsbury's past with the second half of seasons and failing pretty consistently. Their last 8 games are Rams, Niners, Chargers, bye week, Patriots, Broncos, Bucks, and then Falcons and Niners. So 7 of those 8 games are pretty tough, and especially with his history in the second half and Kyler's now too. I don't love him.
No.
Yeah, no, I think Cardinals missed the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and I think this is Kingsbury last season.
All right, and then I guess we can talk about the Seahawks. They kind of
Big
lost
Petey.
somebody big, so
I think they're just playing for a 1 pick.
Yeah, I think they're just tanking. I
I
mean,
think-
Drew
I-
Lock's
yeah.
their quarterback.
I think that
like,
they've made it as obvious as you can make it by not trading a 6th-round pick for Baker like they could
or
have done.
Garoppolo, like, yeah,
Yeah.
they don't care.
They're
So-
playing for the 1 pick. Yeah,
do y'all think this is Pete's last year?
I think it.
I mean, it
I just don't know
depends
like
on-
the demeanor of Pete and if he's like, I really want to stick around. How old is he now? Like
He's old as
70?
shit.
He's
like,
old,
he's
man.
Is he like
old.
pushing 80?
I think he's a second.
getting up there.
He's a second
He's
oldest
in
coach to
his
Belichick.
70s.
I think.
Retire. What are you doing?
Well, I like the
What are
weird.
you doing?
Well, the weird thing is they hit like a crossroads this offseason. It's like, okay, we're trading Russ. Like we're gonna rebuild. They probably like had they at least had one conversation with him, and they're like, "Do you want to be around for this rebuild? Like, should we cut bait and like to go a completely different direction?" He probably signed off on it. They chose.
He had
they
to.
almost. They
He's been there
basically-
so long. He
Yeah,
had to.
they
have signed
almost
on.
chose him over Russell Wilson. So at this, you're thinking like, he knows they're gonna suck this year. He knows they're tanking.
Yeah.
If that's the situation, unless the locker room just goes berserk and turns on him, I mean, he's got to think he's got 3 or 4 more years left,
Yeah, you
right?
gotta cut bait.
I'm sure him and the GM had a conversation like, all right, we're gonna have a 3-year rebuild. Let's go.
Yeah. His time's just it's over, and like
It's over,
And if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
if you're the owner and the front office guys in there, it's like, okay, like let's say they go get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young this year, like go you want a new face in there, you want a new culture, you want a new guy, you want you want something
Old
fresh.
defensive coach.
Like yes, he was there
yeah.
for the Legion of Boom. He had a great run, but hang up the cleats, man.
We almost
Go
wonder.
retire. And
He's had a
cruise-
great career. I mean,
go retire,
he was
play
a-
golf,
I mean,
smoke some cigars, and golf.
Yeah,
into the
he did what he
sunset
did at USC.
right now.
He did what he did
Yeah.
in Seattle. He's had a great career.
Your job's done.
We almost
Yeah.
wonder if he's doing what Popovich was doing with the Spurs. Even though they got competitive and they did end up getting the playing game, like a lot of players were saying how Popovich was like enjoying coaching like the young kids. If Pete wants to do that kind of same thing before he hangs it up.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I just don't think
Maybe.
I don't think he's Pop level though.
No, he's
Yeah,
definitely not
no.
top competitive Pete anymore.
But he's one of those
He
guys
loves
that
to
just
coach.
loves
And
football.
he
Loves ball.
And the
He
the
loves
players
to be
love
around
him
the
too.
sport.
The players
Yeah.
love him. I mean,
He's a
good
player's
guy, but-
coach. Yeah.
So I know you made a case for the Falcons last week, but is this Seahawks team going to be the worst team in the league?
I think they're going to be bottom 5, but I think the Falcons are going to be worse.
I think the Falcons will be better than the Seahawks.
The Seahawks are going to be really bad. But
I mean, who do the Seahawks have on defense other than Jamal Adams? And Jamal Adams isn't even that good.
They have Quandre Diggs.
They lost Carlos Dunlap.
Like, they have nothing. Their defense is going to be terrible.
The only exciting thing they have is their receivers.
Well, they got Shelby Harris.
But they got Drew Lock and a
Russell
crap
Wilson
O-line.
Yeah,
So it's like...
Charles Cross.
They got Charles Cross.
I mean, they're going to be bad.
I think, yeah.
They're going to be bad. But I would take them to be better over the Falcons, honestly, because of Pete Carroll. And I think the guys are going to want to play for Pete Carroll. I don't think that what the fuck is his name? The Falcons
Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I don't. Arthur Smith isn't like on that level of Pete Carroll. I don't see the players buying into him as much. And like players love Pete Carroll. No one ever has anything bad to say about Pete Carroll. So I think they're going to buy into him. And like that's such a huge thing in the NFL. Like when your players like believe in the coach and they like being there, they're like showing up to work every day.
Dan Campbell.
They're going to be point in case. But they're going to be really bad though. Like there's no way to.
Yeah, I think they're going to be one of the worst 3 teams in the league.
Yeah.
I think they'll be in top 4 picks.
Yeah, personnel
somewhere
wise,
in there.
Yeah.
Personnel. I mean, they also have probably the worst starting quarterback in the entire league out of the other 31 guys. Like they probably have the 32nd ranked starting quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe go get Tavon Austin, pair him and Geno up together.
Go.
West
Bring it
Virginia
back.
come back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go into a couple of
Bring it
veterans
back.
that are intriguing. I know the NFL trade deadline's usually not that crazy, but do you think Lockett or DK could possibly get traded in this
100%.
rebuild attempt?
Well, they just
Yeah,
locked
yeah.
DK up.
That is what I'm curious about, too.
I don't feel like they don't trade DK.
I
They just signed him to that big
I could
extension.
see yeah, true. I mean, in NFL, that they could just care more about money.
Yeah.
than winning.
And I feel like, they also had to have a conversation with DK, too. It's like,
Yeah.
listen, do you want to go? So, like, we're going to start this process.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young next season, so you deal
Yeah,
with this
I
season.
agree.
We pair you with a great quarterback.
I think DK stays. I could see Lockett going.
I could totally see
He's an older
Lockett.
guy. They're like, yo,
Yeah,
we
he's
want
old.
you to win. You know, you won the one Super Bowl, but you know,
And he's
what's
been
his
a-
contract. I mean, is it?
That was 3 years, 7 or Lockett's?
It's probably 15.
Is he have another year or two? How many?
Probably.
But I could see Lockett.
I could
definitely
totally
getting
see
moved.
Lockett getting
I could see
traded.
some contender that like the Chiefs or someone.
Yeah.
Chiefs would be a good fit.
That would be a
We'll
really
throw you
good
a
fit.
second or third round pick for Lockett. The Seahawks are 1-7 at the deadline.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I could totally see Lockett.
Yeah, I agree.
getting
I think
traded.
DK stays though, because they obviously have to have those talks internally before.
I mean, DK's obviously he's honestly like the face of their franchise.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, if they don't have DK, who's their marketable guy?
Jamal Adams.
What jerseys are they selling? Who are they putting outside
Like,
the stadium on
They're
the poster?
Mitchell Dixon, the punter. Like,
So Lockett's he's got 3 more years, but he has a potential out after 2023. So for sure, if you sign him,
Yeah.
there's a chance you have him for.
I think
3 more years,
I
definitely
think
for another
Lockett
one.
could be gone.
I could totally see Lockett getting.
There's a lot of teams that
Especially-
could use him too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
especially
He's
if like
still a really good player.
Yeah, especially if a team loses a receiver or something like
Which
that.
it happens every
It happens
year.
every
Every
year. Like
year,
someone will get desperate. Someone will be like right in the thick of it.
They'll
be like,
throw
"All
him.
right,
They'll throw him a second for him.
Yeah.
Take on his contract.
All right, do y'all want to go through record predictions or just move on?
we can just say what we think their records are going to be.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
No, you want to go first?
Sure. I'll take Rams 13-4. Give me the Niners 11-6. Cardinals 8-9. And Seahawks 3-14. So Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks.
I'll take the Niners winning the division at 12-5.
Ooh.
I'll have the Rams second at 11-6. I'll have the Cardinals third at 8-9. Seahawks last at 3-14.
I'm gonna take the Rams winning it at 12-5. The 49ers coming in second at 11-6. Cardinals coming in third at 7-10, and the Seahawks a whopping 3-14.
All same record for the Seahawks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-5. I feel like
You take Niners, so you're taking Niners to win the division?
yeah.
Damn. All right.
If the Niners hit and Lance hits, there's no reason they can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have the Rams number.
They do. If it were to come down to a tiebreaker, they'd probably take
even
the
when
tiebreaker.
everyone's just the Rams are the unanimous favorite, and there's games last year they were probably like a -7 point favorite, and the Niners beat them or
They whooped them.
or
Like, that was
or
mid-season.
regardless, they're like even if they lose, it's like it's like a field goal chip shot game. Either
Yeah.
way.
All right. Let's do some rapid fire NFC win totals.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we're gonna start with the Falcons. Their over/unders at 4.5.
Where are you going? I'll take the under.
Yeah, give me the under all day.
Yeah, probably the under. Panthers are at 5.5.
Over.
Over.
I think definitely over.
Yeah.
Yeah, not definitely, but over.
Over. The Bears are at 6.5.
Under by a lot.
Under.
The Dallas
They're at
Cow-
6.5.
They are at 6.5.
Wow. So they'd have to win 7 games for that to hit.
Yep.
I
have a very hard
that's
time
a
with
bet.
that.
That's a good bet.
That is ridiculous.
What
That's
do you
that's
think,
a great
what do you
bet.
think can you bet Vegas odds on a team's exact win total?
Like their exact record? I'm sure you can.
What do you think Falcons own 17 is?
I'm sure
Probably
it's
a
pretty
lot.
good.
Let
Let me see if you can bet that.
Plus 2,000?
I have to throw $10 on that one.
Maybe not 2,000. Plus 1,000?
I bet you it's more than 1,000.
No,
To
it's
not win
minus.
one-
It's minus 152 for the Bears under 6.5.
Okay. That makes sense.
So the juice is definitely at the under.
yeah.
I'd
I'd take the under if it was at 4.5.
Yeah, I don't see how they There's no way they win 7 games. What
No,
is that?
there's no way.
4.5 would be tough for me.
I mean, was Byron Pringle their number 2 receiver? I mean, Jesus
He's
Christ.
number 1.
We got
Darnell
They
Mooney.
got
Mooney.
they
Got
got
Mooney.
Oh, yeah, they got Mooney.
Got Cole Kmet.
They got N'Keal Harry, too.
All right, Cowboys are at 10.5.
Under. So we have to win 11.
Yep.
Yeah.
Under.
Under.
Lions are at 6.5. I might hit the over.
That's a tough
It's that
one.
even. It's at both are even.
6.5?
6.5. I'd take the over, man.
Give me the over. Yeah. I think they're going to be
I'm
improved.
just going to go contrast from y'all. Give me the under.
I think they'll because how many did they end up winning last year?
They won 5 games. or
Yeah,
something,
they
5 or
still
6
won,
games?
Did
like-
they
And
win
that was-
5?
I think they won
I
5.
thought they won like 4.
Oh wait, they had the
They had the 2 pick.
They had the 2 pick.
No,
yeah.
they won like 3.
Yeah, they probably won like 3 or 4 games.
Well, they covered that line every damn time.
That they did.
I'll take over.
Yeah. Packers are at 11.5.
Under. I think they go 11-6.
Are all of these odds favorited for the under?
These ones for some reason the Packers one's locked, but no, it's not. It's not all that way.
Give me the over.
I think I'd take the over too.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see.
So you got Packers going 12-5.
Yeah. Rams are at 10.5.
Over.
Yeah, over.
That's really
that's
low.
That's low for the Rams.
They're already. It says even. I'm on my bookie right now, and it's got even.
Huh.
That is low.
That's surprisingly low.
Vikings at 8.5.
Over. I love that. I think the Vikings are going to be better this year. I mean, they still were like, what, 8-9 last year?
Yeah.
7-10?
And they got new staff.
I think the
New
Vikings
juice.
are going to be good this year. I think they'll push the Packers for the division. I
mean,
think Packers will win it.
It's not a good division, yes. I'll say over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, they're. I would think they're definitely. I don't say definitely, but they should make a wild card.
They get the Bears twice a year.
Yeah. Giants are at 7.5. They're
What?
Dude, their under is minus 166.
7.5?
So I think
Yeah.
it's 6.5 probably. Even,
So they have to go 8-9. They have to basically be a
Yes.
500 team
Yes.
to hit.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Bet the house.
Yeah, that's
Holy
bet your
hell!
mortgage on the under there.
Yeah.
Even the most optimistic view you can have. Would you be confident saying over?
From the most optimistic.
I couldn't.
view, yeah.
I couldn't be confident.
But
about
confident saying it.
it. I'd be more confident.
But
7
whenever
and
you
10
word
and
it
8
like
and
the
9.
most optimistic view, then you have to. Have
I mean,
full
okay, let's just.
confidence.
You're optimistic about the season.
Would
you take the over?
Like,
That's-
I couldn't
that's-
bet
I
it.
mean-
There's no way I could bet it.
It should not be set at that. It should be like
No.
5.5.
Yeah, 5.5.
6. I would 6.5. 6.5. The Niners are at 9.5.
Over.
Over.
Yeah, the over is juiced to minus 152. Seahawks 5.5.
Under.
Their over is actually at minus 141.
What's the under? Like plus 1.
Plus 115.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good.
They like
bet.
Pete.
Bucks 11.5.
They have a tough schedule.
They do, and they lost Ryan. And they lost Ryan Jensen.
Yeah.
Which is big.
They're gonna whoop up on the Panthers in the.
I'd say under.
Wait, you said 11.5?
11.5. 12 games. Hit the over.
I think they're gonna hit their stride late.
That's really close. I think they're either going to win 12 or 11 games. So I'll take the under. I'll say they go 11-6.
Yeah, I think I'd be leaning that way.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders, 7.5.
The Commanders and the Giants have the exact same.
Yeah.
Wow. Probably the under. So you're betting on them to go 8-9?
Yeah, I could see that though. I could totally see 8-9.
They haven't. We haven't. The NFC South or the NFC East has an easy schedule.
Yeah.
I'll take the under.
7.5 for the Washington Commanders.
Give me the over.
I think I'd probably take the over too. Honestly, I'd be
NFC
leaning.
East, I think they can squeak out 8-9.
I'd be leaning towards the over.
Defense makes a comeback.
And the last two, the Cardinals are at 8.5.
Ooh, I'm going under.
I'm going over.
Think they have a winning record?
I think I go 8-9 or 9-8. I'm kind of more confident in 9-8 though.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna take the under.
I'd take the under. I think they go 8-9 though. I think it's really close.
And last but not least, the Eagles are at 9.5.
Damn, I take the over.
I would too, just because of their division.
The division and
the NFC is just so top.
The Eagles are low key stacked too. Like positionally, they're stacked.
Yeah,
like if Jalen Hurts just plays adequate, they're gonna win a ton of games.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't just completely shit the bed. So I'd take over.
Yeah, I'd take over.
Yeah.
All right, that does it for the NFC under/over win totals. Y'all want to go ahead and do y'all's playoff brackets real quick for the NFC?
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
All right, so for mine, my 1 seed, I got the Bucks. They walk away with a bye round 1. Round 2, we got, or not round 2, but matchup number 1, round 1. I got the 2 seed Packers versus 7 seed Saints squeaking in. And for this game,
I'd almost want to take the Saints.
I have the Saints.
That's
I have
a
the
good
Saints
game.
beating the Packers.
I have no
Yeah,
problem.
I have
with
no
that.
problem with
I
that
like
either.
that.
I think that's a game they're going to
I
ground
like
and
that.
pound. Jameis is going to go
It's
like
a classic game. The
Jameis
Packers
is
would
going to go
lose
like
to.
15 of 18. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after this season because of this game. And the Saints
They're sending Rodgers into retirement.
And
Rodgers
Jameis
says, "I'm done."
and Jameis Winston hits his peak and wins a wild card playoff game. Major upset, Saints over the Packers.
I like that.
My next game, I have the Niners as a 3 seed versus the Cowboys as the 6 seed. Same thing as last year. 49ers advance. Sorry, boys. And then my 4th game, I have the Eagles as the 4 versus the Rams as the 5. I have the Rams beating the Eagles. Eagles aren't there yet. I like them, but not there yet.
Yeah.
And then my 2nd round, I got Bucks versus Saints. This will be a good game.
Great
The Saints
game.
have the number, but Brady, he may have 1 year,
Yeah.
2 more years. The Bucks are beating the Saints. The Saints just don't have enough offensive firepower of Jameis. It's going to come down to Jameis throwing a pick or 2. Next round, we got Niners-Rams. Classic matchup again. I think the Niners have the number this year, and Niners beat the Rams. Rams get kicked in the divisional round. Then my NFC Championship, I got Bucks versus the Niners. And give me Tommy B. Give me TB12. Brady in the clutch.
I thought you
Bucks are
said
in the
you had
Super
the
Bowl.
Niners going to the Super Bowl.
No.
No.
Bucks.
Hey, you got Bucks going back?
Bucks are going to start off kind of slow. Once it's like week 12 or 13, they're going to get Ryan Jensen back. Julio Jones is going to be carved into his role. The running game's going to be going. They're going to be hopefully healthy. And then playoff time, Brady, especially against kind of a weak NFC. I'm taking the Bucks for the NFC.
All right. I got Rams as the 1 seed, Bucks as the 2 seed, Packers as the 3 seed, Eagles as the 4 seed, the Niners at the 5, Vikings have the 6 seed, and the Saints squeak in at the 7 seed. So Rams have the bye. They're not playing wild card. First game, Bucks 2 seed versus the Saints 7 seed. Just like you said, I think the Saints have their number and everything, but I trust Tom Brady. Playoff time.
Yeah.
I mean, even the year the Bucks won the Super Bowl, they played the Saints. The Saints had beat them twice in the regular season. Bucks squeaked out the win at the end. Yeah. So I'd take the Bucks in a close game over the Saints. Another game 2 of the wild card, another divisional game, Packers versus Vikings. And I'm taking the Vikings. I think the Vikings squeak it against the Packers. I'm on the same
Minnesota guy, eh?
Minnesota, yeah. The same thing that you were saying about the Packers. Obviously, you have them losing to the Saints. I think they get bounced round 1. I think the Vikings will be really improved this year. I think they'll be a 10-7 team. They'll push for the division. And I think that's going to be a close game back and forth. I think the Vikings have more talent.
They've just proven they can't do it come playoff time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not putting any trust in the Packers anymore.
No.
I'm done.
Yeah, we thought it was meant to be last year.
They're like
the last two seasons.
They're like a more
like
hyped up Cowboys.
Yeah, literally with a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, except they actually do really well in the regular season every year.
Cowboys,
and they fuck it
Cowboys
up.
recently have been good in the regular season.
But not like 1-2 seed
3
good.
out of 5 playoffs.
I mean, not the Pat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're like another level.
Last game of the wild card. Eagles Niners. Eagles are at home. Niners will beat them on the road, I think, handily. I like the Eagles, but I think Niners defense will get after Hurts. Hurts will make a bunch of mistakes. Niners will roll. So that puts divisional game, number 1 seed Rams versus Vikings as the 6th seed. I like the Vikings. I think the Rams will take them out in round 2. I think the Rams are just better quarterback play, better weapons, better coaching. I'd get the Rams going to the conference championship. Second game, Bucks versus Niners, just like you had in your conference championship, but I have the Niners squeaking it out. I think the Bucks are great. They're loaded. I think they're almost stagnant at this point. They just keep bringing back the same guys. I know they brought in Julio and these different players. I think at this point in the season, especially like come December, rolling into the playoffs, I think the Niners are going to be arguably the scariest team to play. I think that's when Trey Lance will really get going. You're going to see the offense hitting on all cylinders. The defense is going to be getting after people. I think their pass rush combined with the Niners' ability to run the ball and score will take out the Bucks on the road in divisional round.
It does kind of seem like Shanahan's due.
Yeah.
You would think.
We say he's due, and he's still been great.
Yeah.
Like, he's still gone to a Super Bowl, went to a conference championship.
And I mean,
this year.
he does it with not a lot of talent and personnel. Now this year, he's just loaded with talent.
Right.
Pending health and
pending his
Trey
But that's the
Lance.
thing. Even his quarterback is loaded with talent. It's just
Yeah.
can he utilize it right? Which if there's anyone that could, I'd assume he can.
Yeah.
So that then gives Rams, Niners in the conference championship a repeat of last year. I know it's unlikely that the exact same teams will get back there, but that's how the bracket played out. So I have Rams, Niners. Niners is the 5 seed, Rams is the 1. And this year I got Niners taking out the Rams. Just like you had in your divisional round.
Yeah.
I have the Niners beating the Rams to go to the Super Bowl this year. I think the combination, like I said, kind of like the Bucks, defense, running the ball, Trey Lance firing all cylinders, Shanahan having McVay's number. I think they get the Rams in the conference championship, advance to the Super Bowl.
I like it.
I'll tell you what, this will be curious to go. This will be cool to go look at when the season's over. If y'all, we're a month out from the season.
Yeah.
If y'all got
when the Niners go 6-11, when the Niners suck,
we're like,
Both
we're
having the conference championship, you got him in the Super Bowl.
Boy, did we read that one wrong. All right, well, let's go on to some.
Drew Lock has an MVP year.
Falcons make the wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at some future bets from the NFC. No, I didn't take your beer.
Bastard.
God, well, you accused me of stuff already. Jeez.
He's right there.
All right, so let's first just look at some futures y'all like just to win the division. You have a couple y'all like. I mean, I have a couple I like personally.
Yeah, I have for division I have one I like. Then we've touched on it, but Philly at plus 185. I mean, the fact that Philly's at plus 185, you can almost double your money. For starters, no team has won this division back-to-back since 2004. I mean, it's a trend I think that's going to continue. Hurts is getting Sirianni in his system for year 2 again. Which,
Our hockey stick.
what's that fucking blue?
Blue. No, we're just going. I'm getting a beer.
What have you been timing this
No.
for the
Can I see on here?
for the chip thing? Well, like
we're at 49 minutes on here. You said we had an hour 57.
okay.
Do you want to just go all the NFC bets in a vacuum, or do you want me to go like playoffs or division to make playoffs to win NFC?
Yeah, I guess I only have 3.
I ended up putting a few. A lot of them I don't believe will happen. I just put them down there because they're somewhat intriguing.
I'll kind of just restart that. But yeah, I like Philly a lot at plus 185 to win the NFC East. You could double your money just about. No teams won the division back-to-back since 2004. I think it's going to happen again. They've upgraded all around. They're probably the most stacked team personnel-wise in the division. Hurts gets Sirianni again for year 2, which I actually saw today. He hasn't had the same coordinator since high school and back-to-back seasons, so I think that's a big thing too. They added A.J. Brown. They get year 2 of Devontae Smith. They got one of the best O-lines in the league. They got Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, a nasty front seven, Slay in the secondary. I mean, on paper, this is the most complete team in the NFC East. I know the Cowboys are going to be right there, but the Cowboys suffered losses. Philly got a lot better. Philly's kind of trending up. Dallas is trending down. And, I mean, the fact that you can almost double your money plus at 185, like, I think, like, if we get into, like, week 6 and Philly's, let's say Philly's 4-2 and Dallas is 3-3, that line's probably going to go to even, if not favorite Philly.
Definitely.
And the fact that you can almost double that before the season starts, I think that's what I'm going to bet my own.
That's a very strong bet. I love that too.
Yeah, that was one of my bets. I mean, this I have them on your book. They're at plus 170, and Cowboys are plus 110. Like I think Eagles are the better team. Just on paper, they're the better team. They're probably better coached. I mean, the only thing is you have Hurts to Dak, but like the team is better, and honestly, Hurts' running ability, like it almost negates the other stuff that Dak can do.
Honestly,
compared to Hurts.
This might be outlandish, but is Dak that much better than Hurts?
I mean, passing the ball, he is.
Passing the ball for sure.
He can't run worth it.
He can't run. No.
Dak
is awful at running.
Yeah, he can't run after his injury. But like, how much better is Dak than Jalen Hurts?
Well,
as a quarterback, he's much better. But as like an athlete or a player,
as this guy is going to win you football games with everything he can do.
I think you can almost make a case that Jalen Hurts can win you a football game better just because of the X factor of his running.
I think Dak. I think I would still obviously take Dak.
I would too.
Yeah,
but I think the gap's a lot closer than people would make it out to be.
Well, neither. I mean, like Dak is a better thrower of the football, but neither are great throwers.
No,
like Dak. I mean, Dak is a above average good passer, but it's not like Dak's anywhere close to Rodgers or Herbert or Mahomes. Or Stafford. These guys with crazy arms.
Something I've noticed too, just from like reading the comments on a lot of our videos and stuff, is like non-Cowboy fans have a much higher like idea of the quarterback that Dak is than actual Cowboy fans.
Really?
Yes, like actual Cowboy fans view Dak a lot lesser than like the standard fan that's not a Cowboy
Couldn't be
fan.
me.
It's kind of crazy. but the reason is though because like those people don't watch Dak game in and game out like us Cowboy fans do.
Well, they strictly
look at
stats.
numbers.
Yes,
they strictly look at numbers,
yeah.
and like they don't actually like watch the game and like see the shit that happens. Like the Cowboys had the number 1 ranked Pro Football Focus online last year. I know it probably shouldn't have been that, but like regardless, like the O-line's great. Still have a great running back duo. They had fucking great weapons last year. The defense had 2 all-pros, other good pieces around it. Like, there's no reason that Dak should have lost to the Niners last year.
No.
Like
the Niners were really good.
They are, but the Cowboys were the better team.
They were really hot.
The Cowboys were the better team. And then you can go back to 2016. I know he was a rookie and whatnot, but I mean, they had the best O-line probably ever.
Arguably.
Probably
that
ever.
O-line was
one
insane.
seed, like the momentum was insane, and then they blow it. I know he had his heroic comeback for Green Bay, but I think that Dak is overrated, and I think that like the casual fan that solely looks at passing yards, touchdowns, picks, passer rating, they don't actually see like the in-game like in-depth stuff that happens with Dak.
Well, they don't see the first quarter and a half that the offense does nothing.
They see when the team's down 21-3 at halftime.
Yeah, we're down 14-3.
Yeah.
And then his stats get inflated. That's the thing. Like we always have a great offense, and it's because we're getting destroyed at like half of the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then he has to pass 60 times. It's like you don't see the first 4 drives we have that we do absolutely nothing unless Zeke breaks off a huge 12-yard gain for him. Mm-hmm. We don't do anything. Like we just 3 and out, maybe 1 first down, and then we're punting.
And like a lot of people will blame it on coaching, but like the reality is like they still do have a Super Bowl winning head coach, which a lot of teams cannot say they have. So I mean, I'm not saying Mike McCarthy's like the best coach out there, but he's not like a bottom 5 head coach. I don't think at all, in my opinion.
I mean, he is very far removed from that Super Bowl. That was like 50
years
ago.
I think he's a bottom tier head coach in the league.
I would say he's a middle tier. I think any coach that has won a Super Bowl deserves to at least be in the middle tier of head coaches.
That was so long ago, though. The thing with McCarthy is like He's nothing on defense. He doesn't really do anything for your team offensively.
No.
So the only really thing he does is lead.
He's the culture.
He's
a
your culture guy, and I don't think he's that great of a culture guy.
I think he's an all right culture guy. One thing I do think he's terrible at, though, which I think
time management.
Time management.
Yeah, the clock.
I truly believe that every NFL team should hire a coach or a guy up at the booth that is strictly a
Just
time
an analytic
management
guy.
Yeah, strictly. Like I don't like that. There's a lot of power in that, man. Like that's the difference between making the playoffs or not making the playoffs, or advancing to the Super Bowl, or not advancing the Super Bowl. Like time, I think time management is like such an underrated factor, and I think that should be like a duty and like a role for NFL teams. Like they should have a designated guy that is a time management guy. I don't know why that isn't a thing yet. Like we see,
I'm assuming that is in a lot of teams. I
haven't heard of one.
I haven't heard of one.
I mean, we see all these random like roles pop up every year of like new like roles for coaches or coordinators or strength guys or analytic guys. Like, why isn't there that yet?
Well, a lot of them have like analytic guys up in the booth who are like, with a minute and a half left on this part of the field, you should do this. And like I think, we definitely know the Chargers do that because that's pretty much Brandon Staley's philosophy is whatever the analytics say. But I think it's definitely coming into play more. But if anyone should have one, it should be Mike McCarthy.
It should be. Oh my God, it's infuriating to watch them.
Luke, do you have a odds you like for anyone for division wise?
Yeah,
odds you take?
I pulled them all up. There's a couple. So like, one, go to the AFC North. Do you have Ravens? Ravens are the
NFC.
favorite.
Just look at NFC.
Oh, we're just doing NFC.
Just doing NFC.
Oh, okay. I mean, the West.
I like the
West
Niners
is
at plus
tough.
190.
The West, this has them at plus 175.
Yeah.
So that's not bad value. Plus 175 for a team that kind of coin flip could win the division with the Rams. I mean, Cardinals are plus 300. I don't think they're going to win. That's good value though if you're if you like the Cardinals for some reason.
And in the North, I think like the Vikings. Push.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Like, was the Vikings like that? That was my one that I saw, especially in the NFC. It's like obviously the Packers are probably going to win the division. I don't think it's like too far off. Like I don't think people would be like shocked if the Vikings won the division. They're at plus 275. Like you're almost tripling your money on that bet, and I think there's a 40% chance, 35 to 40% chance they win that division. Like I don't think no one's going to be surprised if they go 11-6, Packers go 10-7.
How many years in a row have the Packers won that division?
They've definitely won the last two. I don't know about that.
I mean, it had to have been the year that Rodgers got hurt.
Actually, so it's probably the Vikings won it 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
I wonder about healthy Rodgers seasons with their.
If healthy Rodgers seasons, I mean, he's just destroyed that division.
The Vikings won it a couple times.
A couple, really?
Well, I know they won it when they had Case Keenum.
Okay, so they've won it the past 3 years.
Well, Rodgers was hurt that year, right?
In 2018, the Bears won it.
Wasn't that year he was out for like most of the year?
It was like 2018 though. Was that year?
God, I don't know why. Because there have been 2 times where Rodgers.
The Bears won it that year.
In the last 10 years, they've won 8 division championships.
Holy hell, really?
Jeez. Vikings got it in 17. Bears that one year got it in 18 with Trubisky.
Okay. I like the Vikings this year. I think plus 275 is great value. I would put some money down on plus 275.
Value,
I could totally see the Vikings squeaking out the division this year. They also play Green Bay really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like those games are always really close. I know they beat them in like week 2 of this last season. So the Vikings probably my favorite one outside of the Eagles. I think because the Eagles I think should be favored. So for them to be at plus 170 is like, well, you can absolutely.
You can get the Vikings at like plus 110 just to make the playoffs. I mean, I know it's even money, but you can get them even money just to make the playoffs.
Well, since they've added that 7 seed too. I mean, that helps them out a lot too.
I would take that. I mean, I don't think there's anything to bet in the NFC South. I mean, maybe the Saints.
320, right?
I was looking at Saints plus 400.
This has them at plus 350. Like. That's a lot of value.
But if Brady's healthy, they're winning the division.
And their division like has to play such a tough schedule. The Saints could be a really good team and win 9 games. Yeah. So I think the Saints are going to be good. I think they squeak into the playoffs, but I don't see them winning.
And even the past
division.
few years, they've beat I think Tampa 3 out of the 4,
mm-hmm.
and they still haven't gotten close to touching them for the division.
No.
So
yeah. I mean, other than that, if you want to jack around, throw some money down on Commanders plus 500. I mean, like it's a possibility.
It's
a possibility. If Carson Wentz has a resurgence, like their defense comes on strong, like plus 500 is a huge line.
Yeah.
So like,
if you want to gamble a little bit, take a little risky shot, I think you could do the Commanders because I think the NFC East is wide open. The Cowboys have obviously digressed.
Outside
the Eagles, outside the Giants.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be the most shocking thing in the world if
No.
Washington
This could totally be the year that it's like
that Wentz clicks.
Commanders 9-8, Eagles 9-8, Cowboys 9-8, and they win a tiebreak or something. Yeah. Like I don't think that would be like a huge shock. So like if you want to get a little risky, Commanders plus 500. I think that's a great go big bet.
Yeah.
Well, a couple other things I like going back to the Eagles, you can bet them at plus 137 just to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You can bet the Saints
That's a great bet.
You can bet the Saints at plus 144 to make the playoffs.
I mean, the fact Philly made it last year, only improved dramatically.
Yeah, you can get plus money. I mean, I don't mind that at all. The one that I have just like throwing the dart at it, just sprinkle some money on it if it really goes optimistic. Lions plus 485 to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Wait, what is it?
The Lions plus 485 to make the playoffs. If that offense were to click for some reason, there's no way there's like a 5% chance
I just
it would
think
happen.
their defense is still
it's
bad.
very horrible.
Yeah.
But with that 7 seed, we've seen worse. We've seen crazy things happen. I mean, who would have thought the Eagles would have made it last year?
I mean, if they could squeak out at 8-9.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears made it 2 years ago when there were 6 teams.
Yeah.
And they were horrible that year.
Yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, every year the 7 seed that gets in is a team that shouldn't be in. Yeah. It's usually a pretty bad team.
Yeah. Well, and then, I mean, another bet for y'all, since y'all both have the Niners either getting pretty close to the Super Bowl or getting into the Super Bowl, they're at plus 750 to win the NFC.
I saw that. I like that one a lot.
Plus 750?
750. I like that one. I mean, dude, the fact that they were right there last year, and you can get them at almost 8 times your money.
Yeah.
I love that bet. That might be my favorite bet out of all of them.
Yeah.
And then a Hail Mary bet I have here is Saints plus 2K.
That's what I have on mine as well. I have plus 1,800.
I'm not saying I think that's going to happen by any means, but
they have the defense. They have the team around them.
If their defense next year is the best in football, which it could be, and
Jameis is good,
and they can craft their offense to where Kamara gets 18 carries a game. The guy behind him gets 10 to 12. They average 5 yards a carry. Jameis goes 15 of 20 every game for $180 and 2 touchdowns, and they run the ball, and the defense plays great. They could.
I mean, it could happen.
We've seen crazier things happen.
I mean, I'd sprinkle plus 1,800. I mean, it's plus 1,800.
I got it $2,000.
Yeah, you got $2,000.
No way. I don't think it's going to happen. But I wouldn't bet that. But I'm saying if you're real bold, because I think even if the Saints do get in the playoffs, what do you think their odds will become playoff time? Probably plus 1,500.
Oh yeah, it'll still be crazy.
It'll still be damn near what it is right now.
Yeah.
But if the Niners, let's say the Niners get the 2 seed or even the first wild card, I mean that probably goes from 750 to 500.
Yeah. I also have the Eagles on mine at I haven't seen them at plus 1,300. Mm-hmm. If for the same reason as Saints, if things were to play out right and Hurts takes a big step, I mean the roster around them, they got a great offensive line.
I mean, I kind of view the Eagles similar to the Niners.
Yeah.
But where I like the Niners a lot more is obviously Shanahan versus Sirianni.
Yeah. And I take Lance over Hurts. So even without Lance playing a game or playing a full season.
Yeah, because of the upside.
Yeah, just the upside. Hey, buddy, what you got for us?
Niners. I like Niners plus 7. I don't like doing the conference winners. It's just so
it's a
hard to pick. And you can take Packers or Rams at plus 400, but it's
and that's the thing too. You could just wait till playoff time comes.
Yeah,
and those odds those odds are kind of gonna be similar.
I've never been a big fan.
Yeah,
of doing
the
these,
value the value's definitely.
I mean, they have the Cowboys at plus 750. Really?
If the Cowboys make the playoffs to the 4 or 5 seeds, it's probably going to be plus 700 once playoff
exactly.
time
I mean, it's
starts.
only worth it if you think the Saints are going to
or
go ballistic
Eagles,
and get the 2 seed or something like that, and everything goes perfect for the Saints.
Or if everything goes perfect, I can see the Eagles. If someone really thinks the Eagles, the running game, they're going to have a dual threat. They go 13 and 4.
It's only good if you throw on a real dark horse.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you bet, I wouldn't bet Packers. They're plus 450. They're the second best odds. I mean, actually, I think the Bucks have the best odds, plus 300. Yeah. If I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick the Niners at plus 750. I think that's a great bet.
I think that's the best bet that's there.
Because like you said, if the Niners, do go ballistic and Trey Lance pops, and let's say they get a top 3 seed, they're going to go from 750 to probably 400.
Yeah,
maybe 500. So I mean, but even then, it's betting now versus then. You're only gaining 300 points.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and then like let's say they bust and then they don't even make the playoffs, so you're just throwing money in the shitter at that point.
Yeah.
So.
True. All right, we want to do this guess the athlete deal. All right, back from the break. We got a beautiful little would you rather segment for the boys here. Put their minds in a funnel cake. I got 4 athletes.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I got 4 athletes.
It's not where you want to find yourself.
No, funnel cake brain.
Bad news.
Maybe a churro brain, not a funnel cake brain.
All right, I got 4 athletes.
Pretzel was bad.
Yeah.
4 athletes and a rapper here.
Newsflash.
4
bud.
NFL players and a rapper. Okay, we're gonna start with Matthew Stafford, player X or Matthew Stafford. Derek Carr, or Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
Stafford.
Give me Staff attack. Stafford or Russell Wilson.
Give me Russ.
Russ.
That's close, but
I'm gonna take. Fuck it. Give me Stafford.
you taking the interceptions and the.
I'm gonna take the
Over
hot.
the-
I'm gonna take the hot
I don't think
streaks.
it's as close as like it really is, honestly.
I think it's close.
I think it's close.
because I think
I don't,
Stafford's
I don't
more
think
talented.
I don't think it's like here though. I think more
it's
like
right there. I could flip flop tomorrow on that one.
But if Stafford didn't win the Super Bowl this year, how close even is it?
If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I'd probably take Russ.
Yeah, it's not as close. Yeah,
Not as close.
Definitely.
No.
But I think we saw Stafford though this year prove that
He can do it.
He can be the guy.
And Russ has still only won 1 with all the good teams he's had. But all right, Stafford or Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Stafford or Joe Burrow.
Burrow.
Burrow. Stafford or Kyler.
Stafford.
I'm going to take Stafford, but I think it's a little bit closer than it may seem.
I don't know if it's.
I personally don't think it's that close.
I'll take the guy without the disciplinary clause in his contract.
Yeah, I'll take Stafford. Stafford or Deshaun Watson.
I'm going Stafford.
I'm going Watson. His talent's just too good.
I know the talent's there, but it's like Deshaun, like he's great, but he hasn't ever done really much. Like
He
in
hasn't
the
had much to
playoffs.
work with.
He hadn't had
Yeah,
much
he
to
hasn't
work
had
with.
much
I
to
know,
work with.
but he hasn't really proven. I mean, that one
And
playoff game he went
and he's only
carried. His
he's
team
only
to
had
victory.
he's only played 3 fully healthy seasons.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So
He hasn't had shit around him besides shitty defenses. Okay, that's it for Stafford.
Wait, who did you take?
Oh, I'm going to take Stafford.
Okay.
Next guy up is Nick Chubb.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nick Chubb or Najee Harris?
Damn. I'm taking Najee. I think Najee's almost as good as a runner, and he's a much better pass catcher. I love Nick Chubb running, but
I'm taking Chubb just because he's more established. He's proven he can do it longer, but I wouldn't be mad at anyone that takes Najee.
I'm going to take Najee. I like the receiving. Nick Chubb or Jonathan Taylor? It's a tough one, eh?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think after last season, you got
I
to
don't
take
think
JT.
Yeah. Give me JT. Nick Chubb or Alvin Kamara?
Kamara. I love Kamara.
That one's actually tough.
All these, I think, are tough. You're naming like the best running
yeah.
backs in the league.
I mean, that's what Chubb is one of
Yeah,
the best.
he
So
is.
I really don't know. I mean, I want to say wear and tear on Kamara, but Chubb got so many carries at Georgia, and they're probably around the same wear and tear, but he's a much better runner, a better pass blocker. Oh God,
his brain's in a funnel cake.
give me Chubb. My brain didn't get funnel cake there.
You're funnel cake deep over
Funnel
there, buddy.
cake.
Give me Kamara. I love the receiving, and Kamara's fun to watch.
That one was really.
That's a
hard
tough
for
one.
me.
Nick Chubb or Joe Mixon?
Chubb.
Definitely Chubb.
Chubb.
I think that's closer.
I think that's close.
I think Joe Mixon's really good. I don't think he's as good as runner. He's a better pass catcher though.
I think Chubb though, if like
Chubb's so violent,
but
though.
he doesn't get the opportunity to ever pass catch because Kareem Hunt's there. I think if they like force fed Chubb passes, he would probably put up decent receiving yards.
I feel like if he was
he's not an opportunity to do it.
Well, I feel like if he was a good pass catcher,
Yeah,
we would have seen it by
throw
now.
him to it. They don't throw it to him at all.
I don't know,
Like-
man. He's one of these last few running backs though that actually gets like workhorse, like 28 carries a game, and that's why they have Hunt to be the pass catching guy. I think they're almost saving his legs to be strictly their between the tackles goal line runner.
But still, even if he was
They
in
bring Kareem Hunt in short yardage too. So
They do. But
Kareem Hunt's a big dude.
Or actually, more between the 20s. I think that's where they save.
Yeah, I do too. Sucks for fantasy.
Yeah,
no, you get him, he
it's
rushes for like
terrible.
98 yards.
If Hunt wasn't there,
like,
Chubb would
dude.
be the unanimous one pick.
Oh yeah.
Nick Chubb or Dalvin Cook.
Oh God.
Jesus. Is this assuming?
That's tough.
Is this assuming health?
Yeah, I think you got to assume.
Yeah,
that.
we'll just say for this next season. Like for this next season, regardless, put your money on it.
God, Colco, I don't know.
I
don't know.
I'm gonna take Cook strictly because of why I didn't take Kamara over Chubb because he doesn't have the home run threat, but I know Cook still has the home run threat, and I know he's a great receiving back as well and one of the best zone runners in the league. I'm going Cook, even though his injuries are a thing.
I'm going Cook.
I think Dalvin Cook's.
I'm going Chubb. I don't know if Dalvin. He's been injured so many times. Like
I mean, Chubb's had his
lost a
little
step.
mix.
But how many
And
times
Dalvin
has
Cook's
Dalvin
never-
torn his ACL? Like twice.
The past 2
Like,
years, though, he's been relatively healthy.
I mean,
and
Chubb tore his ACL
Dalvin
in
Cook's
college.
never really inherited a great O line either,
That's true.
and he's made it work to look like that O line's great.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm taking a mulligan on that one. I'm paused. I don't know. I'm taking a draw on that one. I don't know.
All right, Nick Chubb or Christian McCaffrey.
Chubb.
Just because McCaffrey can't stay healthy, and I can't.
I like Chubb's running ability.
I can trust Chubb.
If we're going health isn't a thing, I think McCaffrey beats anyone, but
Yeah.
he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
I can trust Chubb too. Like you
Yeah,
know what you're getting with Chubb. Chubb or Derrick Henry to wrap it up.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I got to put respect on
Yeah.
Derek's name.
Derrick Henry. All right, next guy up, Tyreek Hill.
That was a good one.
Tyreek Hill's next man up.
This will be a good one too.
Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams.
That may be the only.
Okay,
guy
so
I would
what
take over
team are
Tyreek.
we like? Are we just dropping them on a random team?
Yeah, I wouldn't say you swap their roles on their current team. You're just dropping them on a team that's mediocre all across the board. And at 9 and 8, 8 and 9 team, you're dropping this guy in.
I'm taking Devontae.
I am too, just because it's all around.
Yeah, I think he fits better. I think potential Tyreek Hill with like Mahomes or Josh Allen, the potential's there.
Yeah, but
I mean, shit, we say that and we've seen.
but
Devontae
if Kirk
with
Cousins
Rodgers.
is the QB, I'd rather
Right.
have.
Yeah.
If you have like
I'd rather have Devontae.
25 of the 32 starting quarterbacks, I'd rather have Devontae.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Devontae as well. Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs.
Tyreek.
I can honestly say right now, I'm going to say Tyreek over every other guy.
And Tyreek.
I was only going to say Devontae over him.
Every other guy.
Yeah.
Tyreek
Wow.
Hill or Jamar Chase.
God.
That's a tough one. I don't know who I'm gonna pick. Actually, I think I kind of do.
I'm taking Jamar.
I'm taking Tyreek just because I got a perspective on his name. Jamar's great, but he's only done it 1 year.
But I think Jamar's gonna get better this year. Like this was only his first year.
I
I think Jamar's gonna take another step.
He probably will, but
You have to remember, Jamar didn't even play for a year before last year. He sat out that season. So he had a year off hiatus, came back, and he kind of struggled at the beginning. I think this season he's going to come out and just terrorize people. I think Jamar Chase could push to be the best receiver in the league next season.
I like the fear that Tyreek puts in
Yeah.
defensive coordinators' eyes more than Jamar.
Well, he
Jamar's
probably does
great.
that more than anyone.
Jamar,
Yeah.
and that's why I like him so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And I think Devontae's just so complete. That's why I take Devontae over him. But
I'm taking Jamar. Tyreek Hill or Debo Samuel.
Tyreek.
Debo might get hurt next year.
Yeah,
easily.
Debo's just so.
He's only had
volatile.
he's great, but he's only had one good year.
Yeah.
Give me Tyreek.
Tyreek's been doing it.
Tyreek Hill or AJ Brown.
Tyreek.
Yeah.
Tyreek. Tyreek Hill or Keenan Allen. He's definitely this is gonna be
Tyreek,
pretty
yeah.
close. And Tyreek Hill or DJ Moore. I just started wanting to name a bunch of guys.
DJ Moore. No.
Let's hear your bold take right now.
Yeah. You see what DJ Moore did last year with Sam Darnold?
I would love if you actually came up with a spiel. Like, that would be even more outlandish than the Miles Bridges take.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Moore's better than
Did you
Tyreek
see what he did
Hill.
in game week 3 last year when he did to Trevon Diggs? He cooked him for like 120. If he had a good quarterback, holy shit.
You think Tyreek could do that?
Hell no.
He's only good because of Mahomes.
DJ Moore's like half running back, half receiver. He's a beast.
He's the best receiver ever.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll go Tyreek across the board there.
Yeah.
All right. Next guy up, Darren Waller. Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts.
Waller.
Darren Waller or T.J. Hawkinson.
Waller.
Darren Waller or George Kittle.
Kittle.
Waller or Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Okay, yeah. For tight end, it was kind of hard. I just wanted to.
What about Mark Andrews?
Oh, I did.
I feel like
I did put Mark Andrews on. Darren Waller or Mark Andrews.
I feel like that's the only one that's
Yeah, because tight ends
Close.
are so like solidified in the rankings.
yeah. I feel like Mark Andrews is the only
It's
one
like
that
Kelsey,
could be a
Kittle, and then
disagreement.
Waller and Andrews, and it's like
crap.
Hawkinson and
Kyle
Yeah.
maybe
Pitts.
Goddard or whatever, and it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
So, Darren Waller or Andrews, I forgot to mention it because I put him on here.
Probably Waller.
I'd still go Waller. Yeah.
I think Mark Andrews had a great year last year, but I also think it was just because he's the only guy that could throw to.
Yeah.
So
He's
I think Waller's more
6'7",
talented
yeah.
too.
All right. Now we got the rapper. This is part of this. The rapper's Lil Baby.
Wow, I do love Lil Baby.
I know you do. Lil Baby or J. Cole?
J. Cole he throws it, but J. Cole hits home.
I'll take J. Cole.
Oh God. I'm talking like right now, Lil Baby.
I'm going to go J. Cole. Lyricist. Gotta love it. Lil Baby or Kanye West?
Kanye.
Yeah.
Lil Baby or Travis Scott?
Travis Scott.
Lil Baby or Drake?
Drake.
I
Drake's just put out too much
I know.
good
It's like
stuff. Like
Drake's the GOAT, probably the GOAT rapper of all time. I love Lil Baby. I got to go Drake.
Yeah. I'm going to go Drake. Lil Baby or Jack Harlow?
Lil Baby.
Maybe. Lil Baby or Post Malone?
I'm going to go Post.
I'm gonna take Post too.
Yeah, give me Post. All right. Well, that ends that segment.
How to say you're white without saying you're white.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do the coaches draft now.
All right. This will be a good one. Wait, where is that?
All right. I'm just going to think of a number 1 through 10, and I'll just take the last pick. And whoever it's closer to it can get the one pick.
Give me 4.
5.
7.
Oh, this
My number was 7.
So you get the one pick.
Yeah. And I'll take the 3.
All right, I get one pick.
You want to intro
Do
it?
you know their pen? Right on this draft board.
There's one right here. So how many rounds? 5?
5.
5.
All right. Next up is the Punch the Air 5-round coaches mock draft. You get a coach for one season. Luke's got the first pick. Cole's got the second. I get the third. Snake draft.
Wait, you have third pick?
Not the third pick.
Okay.
All right. Buzzsaw.
All right. I'm going with the GOAT, Bill Belichick.
You got to pick Belichick. I feel like this is already tough. I'm going to go with Mike Tomlin.
Good pick. I like that pick.
I could have gone with McVay or Shanahan, but what Tomlin's done, and he's in that Belichick Reed
I respect that
category,
pick. That's a
and
great pick.
I think he's a culture guy. I think
Yep.
they Tomlin it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Put some respect on Mike Tomlin's
Yeah.
name. Mike Tomlin's a beast.
All right. I'm gonna go.
Should have won Coach of the Year last year.
All right. I'm gonna go double offense here. I'm gonna go Andy Reid and Sean McVay.
Those are pretty good picks.
I'm gonna go with the 5th pick, Shanahan.
Fuck. That's who I was going to take. Okay.
I think that's like the solidified.
Yeah.
top
All right.
5.
So now. God, I don't know. Give me John Harbaugh.
I like that.
That was who I was gonna pick. That's a good pick.
And next pick. God, it's either Vrabel or McDermott. Oh, jeez. jeez. I love Vrabel, but I'm going McDermott.
This might be a slight shocker, but I'm gonna go Doug Peterson.
Good. I love that.
Solely
pick.
on the fact that
I like that
he won a
pick.
Super Bowl with Nick Foles. I think he's very underrated.
He was going to be one of my next picks.
Yeah. Jags definitely got a steal with him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vrabes.
Yep.
And then I want next. Just because he's had recent success, give me Matt LaFleur.
Oh, God. I don't know who I'm going to take.
These last 5 are going to get dicey.
Yeah.
Wait, am I up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're up.
I'm up. Okay.
I have 3 defensive coaches. I need some offense in there.
What do I have? I have Tomlin, Peterson, and Shanahan.
Yep.
I gotta. You know what? Give me Stefanski. He won Coach of the Year last year. I need a young gun in there.
What's wrong with that?
I'm going Zach Taylor. Got to the playoff. Got to the Super Bowl this year. I think no one really talks about Zach Taylor as a good coach. No one gives him any respect.
I was about to pick Zach
I mean,
Taylor,
the fact that he got that team there. I know it was all Burrow, Burrow and all that, but I'm going Zach Taylor.
I mean, he was the mind behind that team.
Jesus. Now it's. I don't even know what to do now.
I'm afraid for what I'm going to have to do.
Oh God. If you pick Brandon Staley, I'm gonna throw a beer at you. Jeez, I'm going Josh McDaniels. I know he's been the coordinator forever, but I mean, he's been the number 1 prospect for a coach forever. Great offensive mind.
I would not have picked McDaniels.
I'm going McDaniels.
I don't mind McDaniels.
All right,
That
cool.
was me. My last pick.
You feeling Big Mike over there?
He's on my board.
Feeling
man.
some watermelon
He's
smashing
on my
over there.
board. Oh God, I'm. There's only 3 guys. You know what? I'm gonna put respect on his name. He's a player's coach. He's won a Super Bowl. Give me Pete Carroll.
Wow, Pete Carroll.
Give me Pete.
All right.
That made things easier for me. Give me Frank Reich to finish things off.
No problem with
It's
that.
between him and Ron Rivera for me.
But see, I crossed Rivera and Carroll off.
You did.
I just feel like they're washed.
All right.
I don't know. I was just because of
My next.
I know what I'm getting with them. I just didn't want
Yeah.
to pick a guy. I didn't
My
know I
next
was
guys
getting.
would have been Dable, maybe Todd Bowles.
I was thinking Todd Bowles, but
I'd rather have a guy that's I know can win at the big stage versus a guy that has a question mark behind him.
Yeah, but I think those guys like Pete Carroll and Ron Rivera, we don't know if they still can though.
I think they still can. I think it's just if they have the pieces there.
Pete
Like
Carroll
that's-
seems to be good for the first few years of when he goes somewhere. At least that's what his history's kind of been.
Kind of
and then
afterwards,
yeah,
kind of
it's-
rubs people the wrong way after
I don't know if it's
years.
but whatever the moxie or the fuck it is, it just kind
And
of.
I would-
one of my biggest things too is just if you've won a Super Bowl.
I respect that. I would rather take a chance on a young genius like Brian Dable,
Yeah.
who I know has potential to be the next Sean McVay, over Ron Rivera, who I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a good coach. He's gonna, discipline and everything. But
Yeah.
is Ron Rivera really gonna win a Super Bowl? Probably.
Kind of
not.
all of mine were, I guess, or Stefanski was young, but
You had Tomlin, DP. Who was
Shanahan.
your 4th pick?
Stefanski.
I had Tomlin,
Stefanski, okay.
Shanahan.
Well, Shanahan's young.
Yeah, Peter. Yeah. All right, we're gonna summarize that.
All right. You want us to go through it real quick? From the first pick
Yeah.
to the last? All right. Kick it off.
All right. Pick number 1, the GOAT, Bill Belichick.
Pick number 2 puts more respect on his name, Mike Tomlin.
Pick 3, Andy Reid. And wrapping back around for pick 4, Sean McVay.
Fuck, I keep fucking up the order. Pick 5, best offensive mind in the league, Kyle Shanahan.
Last pick, the 2nd round, John Harbaugh, swinging back pick 1 in the 3rd round, Sean McDermott.
Pick 2 in the 3rd round, sleeper coach Jack out of Steel, Doug Peterson.
Pick 9, give me Mike Vrabel. And pick 10, give me Matt LaFleur.
Pick 11, give me Kevin Stefanski.
And pick 12, give me Zach Taylor. Coming back around, pick 13, first pick in the 5th round, give me Josh McDaniels.
Pick 14, give me good old Pete Carroll.
And wrapping things up, give me Frank Reich. All right, good coaches draft, huh?
Good coaches draft.
Good coaches draft.
Put some respect on
That's the
coaches.
best. That's the best we've ever done. All right.
That Tomlin pick was good.
That was?
Yeah, I like that Tomlin pick.
Tomlin pick.
No one respects Tomlin.
No, they don't.
Not as much as they should.
No.
I mean, the fact that he made the playoffs last year with Big Ben.
Dude, he's made the
And
playoffs
then
like almost every
the year
single
before with
year.
that Duck guy. Remember him?
Duck Hodges?
Yeah, he made the playoffs with Duck Hodges playing quarterback like half the season.
Yeah.
Like
Tomlin's a monster.
I think Tomlin's the best like culture setting head coach in the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so, too.
The fact that he was able to deal with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell on the same
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
that is
And
incredible.
Big Ben
And
after
Big Ben,
with
yeah.
all his shit, but